Welcome to DocumentMountain.com. Let me ask you a question. Were there some laws that were really meant to be broken? Interesting question. So another question is, what's your company's contribution to their days outstanding? And really, what's the question? The question is, how do these two apply to each other? Well, there was a gentleman by the name of Cyril Parkinson who lived between 1909 and 1993. He was a British naval historian. He wrote about 60 books. But really the most memorable thing about him was his contribution to the Economist that he made back in 1955. He basically stated that work will expand to fill the time that's available for its completion. This later became known as Parkinson's Law. So really, if you take a look at your average days outstanding, it's made up of two different parts. It's not only the part that it takes for your customer to pay you, but it's also the part that considers what do your internal processes take to actually get that invoice out to your customer. So do you realize that manual accounts receivable process can inflate your DSO by as much as 30%? That's a lot, but we have a real vivid example of this is when we were working with a distribution company. So they would accept purchase orders from their customers. And then on a weekly basis, they'd walk the purchase orders over to accounting. Accounting would then have to get up and walk over to the printer and make sure the right pre-printed form was there for the invoice. They'd go back and they'd release the batch. And after they released the batch, they'd walk back over to the printer and look at their pre-printed form from their impact printer. And then they'd separate the pre-printed form, and one form would go into a new file that they'd have to create for the purchase order. And then the rest of it, they'd have to then go back to their desk, print out an envelope and apply postage to it, and then stuff the invoice into it. And finally, they'd put it into the mail, and it usually took anywhere from 3 to 5 days. And what they figured out is that their contribution, their internal processes contribution to their DSO was 29% of their total days outstanding. So if you think about it this way, that really you can only control what's internal to your company. Everything that's external is outside of your control. So when you're considering Parkinson's Law, how much time have you allocated for the creation and the distribution of your invoices from your accounts receivable? Something to remember is that when people look at your DSO and they see that it's improving, it shows that companies are trying to create more efficient processes. So if you look at automating your manual accounts receivable process with an electronic document management solution, really you can take your company's DSO, your contribution to that, and reduce that from multiple days down to simply a push of the button. So if you're wondering how this might apply to you, think about this way. Look around your organization, and if you see that you're managing filing cabinets or banker's boxes, ask yourself this one question: do I have processes that are contributing to filling those up? And if you've answered yes to that, then let's simply take 20 minutes and see if we might be able to help you like we've been able to help other organizations. DocumentMountain.com is turning your mountain of paper into profits. And if you want to check out DocumentMountain.com, see how we might be able to help you avoid risk, better appropriately apply your resources, or also help you accelerate your revenues. We help you turn your mountain of paper into profits. DocumentMountain.com. Have a great day.